Home one evening, I heard a melodious ringing sound from the front door. This was odd, as I don't have a doorbell. I opened the door to discover a man dressed in an all-white suit, looking like some angelic version of John Travolta from Saturday Night Fever. "May I help you?" I asked. There was a harp glissando. "Yeah," he replied. "My employer would like to have dinner with you. You like lobster thermidor, right?" "Yes," I said. "How does he know?" "He's omniscient." "Omniscient?" "Yeah, it means he knows everything. You really ought to look it up. Here's his card." I noticed it was blank. "Yeah, he prefers it that way. People keep arguing about how to pronounce his name. Even Bible scholars can't agree." I was stunned. "Come on, there's a car waiting." And what a car it was. A bright, white, all-electric 2023 BMW convertible. I promise not to tell, but just between us, tail fins are coming back. The car hummed its way to a fancy Beverly Hills restaurant. I was searched for recording devices and given a thick pair of sunglasses. "What are these for?" I asked. "People forget that glory means intense brightness. You really ought to look it up." The restaurant was empty except for a corner booth. There sat an old man with a snowy white beard. His face looked familiar, like I had seen it in stained glass or on a chapel ceiling. I approached cautiously. A thunderous voice spake unto me, saying, "Please have a seat." I sat. After a moment I said, "Oh, I get it. This is a dream, and you're God, right?" "Half right," he replied. "Which half?" I asked. He just smiled beatifically. A waiter appeared. The lobster was cooked to perfection. My host was served a bowl of matzo ball soup. I found this way, way too obvious, so I became suspicious. "How do I know you're not an imposter?" I asked. "Could an imposter do this? Behold!" At once the thermidor started bubbling. Pieces of lobster jumped out, reassembled themselves into a whole 2-pound Maine lobster, which leapt off the table, scuttled across the floor, and out the door onto Wilshire Boulevard. I was dumbstruck. He frowned. "You shouldn't be eating that anyway. It's trafe." "I'm sorry," I said. "What can I do for you?" "I've had my eye on you for some time now. You're just the person with the moral fiber for the job. That is, if we ignore that incident back in 1964 with the underage girl." He really was omniscient. I replied quickly, "A job? What job?" "Mine. I'm thinking of retiring. I want to spend more time with my family." "Your job?" "Don't worry, you'll have help. Nowadays, everything's done by committee. Sure, you'll have to listen to their dumb ideas, but in the end, you're omnipotent." "Well, what would I do?" "Whatever you want to." "That's it?" "That's what omnipotent means. You really ought to look it up." I'm honored," I stammered. "Don't let it go to your head. You weren't my first choice. Oprah Winfrey turned me down this afternoon." I was a bit hurt and tried not to show it, and I was totally overwhelmed by his offer. "If you don't want the job, I'll understand. I'm used to rejection, just like you. So, is it yes or no?" It was very tempting, but I thought of all the incomplete tasks I had and all of my responsibilities. I had promised myself to complete the Competent Communicators Manual. I really didn't want to miss the next season of Game of Thrones. But most of all, I needed to pay off my student loan. So I politely refused the offer, thanked him profusely for the honor, and left. The good Lord loaned me the cab fare to get home. Well, I could see by the looks on your faces that you doubt me. I'm not lying. I swear I'm not lying. I turned down a job offer to be God. If I'm not telling the truth, let lightning strike me now!